Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Reborn Dolls with Karen. We're back with Marissa. We're in the middle of making her. She's already had her 05 and she's had a bake and we started on her little scratch. I can feel it just a little. It's not nearly complete. We need to do a little more to it. I want to feel it better than that. Anyway, her nails look pretty good. Her lips are kind of light, but they look good. And we're going to get started on her next layer, which is the warm blush. And we're going to put 2 layers of that on her. And we are going to get her ready to work on her scratch a little bit more. Usually it's right after this step that I work on the scratch. But we started a little early just to be able to build it up a little. So we're going to get out our sponges for the warm blush. We'll probably have several up here. I threw some of them away because they're just getting too dirty. And when they get too dirty, they don't do a good job. And believe me, you're going to know when they're too dirty. You're going to go, nope, can't use that anymore, and just throw it out. I always say the sponge is going to tell you. Anyway, we're going to get some on our brush here, on our sponge here. And I don't like that little piece of fuzz already on there. I'm not looking forward to rooting her on this table, but that's what we're going to have to do if I'm going to record it, because I don't have any way to set it up in the bedroom. Her head's still slightly warm. I'm going to do it last. I usually do the head first, but we're going to do the head last this time. Her arms and legs, because there's nothing inside of them, have cooled off a lot quicker. So we're just going to start with them. It doesn't really matter where you start, as long as you remember where you started for your second coat. If you're doing stacking, I don't know. I advise new artists not to stack because you're not even used to putting paint on yet. And you're certainly not used to putting paint on in double coats before you bake. Especially if you get one coat looking really, really good, just like you like it, then you should really go on and bake it to preserve that look that you've gotten. Anytime you get something, I don't care if you just did the lips and you're going, that's so perfect, I'm so afraid I'm gonna mess them up. Just stop and bake it. It's just that simple. And then the lips will be permanent, and then you don't have to worry about, oh, I messed up the lips. If you get something on the lips then that you don't like, you can wipe it off because you baked. That's why it's important. It's really important to bake in between every layer. And I used to do it. I just am trying to hurry to get dolls done before Christmas. They're starting to sell now. I've sold 3 dolls. And so, and just in a little short amount of time too. So sales are starting to pick up. People are starting to show more interest. So it's getting a little more, in my mind at least, I guess I'm too OCD. In my mind, it's getting like a desperate situation almost. It's like, oh no, I don't have enough dolls up. I never think I do, but I've got, I think, 70 dolls up. No, one of them's a head, just a head, and one of them is a box of odd pieces that people can use to practice on and stuff. So 68 I think is what I have up. 68 dolls, and I wanted 100, so I'm a little short. 32 dolls short. But I can't complain if I'm selling dolls as I'm putting up dolls. There's a good chance I'll still have 100 dolls, but some of them will be already sold, if that even makes sense at all. I'm working on Marissa and Kyra at the same time. Kyra I'm doing off camera, and Marissa I'm doing on camera. I've also got 4 other dolls, or 3 maybe, ready to go when I get finished with Kyra. 3 or 4, I've sealed them. Let's put it that way. They're sealed. And so whenever I get finished with Kyra, I'll just jump into another one. I'm not going to be recording anymore till these videos get completely downloaded. I'm still working on Bean getting downloaded, even though I'm now working on Marissa. All of Bean is not downloaded. I was having some trouble. One of her videos was just continually failing to download. And it would start over and start over and start over. And at one time it was saying it was going to take 100 hours to download it. So I deleted the video and started again, downloading it. And it was still going pretty slow. I ended up deleting the video and restarting it like 3 times. And what turned it around was as I restarted my tablet. And, you know, I powered it completely down and back up. And that helped it download much, much quicker. I guess it was some glitch in my tablet because I've been using it too long without restarting it, I guess. I don't know. But I did that, and then it started working better. So they are downloading faster now. But still, I'm way behind, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to just try to concentrate on getting those downloaded. And then I'm going to really restart my tablet. iPads have this funny thing. I never had this with an Android tablet, but Androids don't record good. So I got me this iPad, and it's got a lot of memory on it so that I can actually, you know, record a lot of videos. The one I had before this one didn't have very much memory at all, and you couldn't record but 2 or 3 videos, and it was saying you're out of space. So I got this one. Anyway, it has this little thing in it. I call it a flaw. I don't really know if I'm sure it's on purpose. But even if you delete the video, after I've uploaded it to YouTube, I don't keep it on my tablet, I delete it. But it doesn't delete the entire thing. It deletes the actual part you can watch, but it keeps something called documents and data. And after you've done a lot of videos like I do, your tablet's getting full of documents and data. It's like the memory's taken up. And so what I have to do is factory reset my tablet. It's a big pain because then you have to re-download all your apps and stuff and set all your settings the way you wanted them. Like I set my tablet where it won't turn off. The screen will not turn off until I'm ready for it to turn off. Because the last thing you want is that you're in the middle of doing something and the screen just turns off on you because you got up to get a drink or something. I hate that. And so I fixed it where the screen would not turn off until I turn it off. And so you have to set all that stuff over again after you factory reset your tablet. And you have to re-put in your it's not a Google. It's one for iPad. Your on Android it would be your Google account, but it's your iCloud, I guess, account. I don't know what it's called really. You have to put all that back in. You have to almost like you just got a brand new tablet. Redo everything. Re-download all your apps that you were using, which I don't use much on this tablet. It's strictly for my videos mostly. It has a few things on it, like I can jump over on eBay if I need to or something like that, but I don't just do games or anything on it. I have other tablets I use for that. This one is just for this because I needed something that was, you know, I wasn't going to be filling up with the memory with games and things. So, long story short, it's just for this. Marissa's not especially a pretty baby, but she'll make a pretty nice doll, I think. She's not beautiful or anything. She's certainly not that. But, you know, I try to keep a variety, and I try to keep an open mind about the dolls because really and truly, I don't really have to like it. The only thing that bothers me is what if nobody buys this doll? I don't like her. I wouldn't want to keep her in my collection. And, you know, whenever dolls don't sell, you're looking at them differently after that. You're going, do I want to keep this doll or not? And if the answer's no, I'm trying to look at that ahead of time now. If I don't sell this doll, will I want to keep it? And if I say no to it, I'm trying to rethink even getting the kit to begin with because, you know, you end up with all these kits that you're going, well, I don't want to keep it, so I guess I'll go down. You know, I'll reduce the price because she didn't sell. So people must not like her. And I don't know. People will buy almost any doll if the price is right. So you will be able to get rid of them. It's not like it's set in stone. You can even always donate them if you don't want them. But the thing is I don't really want to donate all of my dolls. I do want to donate some of them, but I want to be able to recoup some money for having made all these dolls. And even if I don't recoup the entire cost of making the dolls, I need to recoup some of it because it makes it more worthwhile, if that makes any sense. I know some people saying if I was losing money, I'd just quit, but it's not that easy when it's your hobby. When you love doing it, you just have this urge to do it, I guess. And so I do anyway. I get up every morning and I come out here and I look over what I did last night, and I go get my bearings as to where I'm at on the dolls, and I just get started on them. And I work a good part of the day. I don't work the entire day because I have other things to do, but I do spend a good part of my spare time doing dolls instead of watching TV or reading books or playing video games or doing puzzles or whatever else other people do in their spare time. I'm doing dolls. Okay, she should be dry enough now that I can apply this second coat. So here we go. Oh, I know what that is. I start to say, what is that hissing sound? I put some food in the pressure cooker that I had previously cooked yesterday, but I didn't cook it long enough. And so I said, well, I'm gonna put it back in tomorrow and cook it some more. Put it in the refrigerator overnight, and it's now getting hot enough to make a noise. And I suddenly just started hearing it, and I'm going, what in the heck is that sound? I forgot it was on. Oh. I love cooking in the pressure cooker. It's not the same as cooking in a slow cooker. I can't cook that slow. I just can't. I never have been able to. I never could figure out, okay, I'm going to work. I won't be here to check it. How much time should I put it on? Low, medium, high, and for how long? And how much water do I put in it? I just never could get it adjusted to using a slow cooker. And my son does it all the time, and he said, Mama, you can't overcook it. All you got to do is put some water in it, turn it on, and just walk away from it. I just can't do that. I'm sorry, I just can't. And so I never really got adjusted to slow cookers, but a pressure cooker works differently from a slow cooker. And this isn't like your grandma's pressure cooker. I had one of those. It was for canning, and you had to watch it constantly and adjust the heat so that it wouldn't build up too much pressure. Well, these aren't like that. These are for cooking, and they have some sort of a pressure release thing that won't let them get any higher than what you set it on. And so they're really fantastic. You just put your food in there, and it doesn't take very much water at all. And you just like I make homemade soup in it. I make white beans in it. And all y'all northerners who don't eat white beans, you don't know what you're missing. Man, I think it's a southern thing. Some people in the north eat white beans, but we always did because my mother was from the south. But most everybody that we knew never even heard of eating just white beans, and that's your meal. White beans and cornbread and some slaw or something, and that's your meal. There's this guy on, some of you people from the UK are going to know what I'm talking about. There's this guy on Facebook, and he's from the UK, and he's always trying all these new things. One day it was peanut butter and jelly. He's so funny. He said, I don't even know what jelly is. I'm assuming it's something similar to jam. We don't eat jelly, we eat jam. And he said, he got out this loaf of bread that was huge slices of bread. And he said, I'm going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I'm going to start by putting butter, not peanut butter, butter on my bread. And I was going, oh no, he's fixing to mess up his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He said, in the UK, we like butter on our sandwiches. So here we go. And he spread butter, and I'm assuming he didn't mean margarine, it was real butter, on one slice of bread. Then he spread on really thick some crunchy peanut butter. And then on the other slice, he spread on just a very thin layer of jelly. Well, it was jam. He said it was jam. And then he ate it, and he said, oh, it was so good. And then he came back, And he said, "Oh, I've been told I did it all wrong. You're not supposed to put butter on it." And they also said, "What's with that giant bread?" He said, "I don't know. Is something wrong with my bread?" He said, "This is the regular size of bread in the UK." And I said, "Oh, it is big." But anyway, he said, "I'm going to make another peanut butter and jelly sandwich." And he had you believing he wasn't going to put butter on it this time. But then he took out the butter and he did it anyway. He goes, "Oh, I'm putting it on there." Because he said they like it that way in the UK. Which is, it's everybody has their own thing. So, but he's funny, the way he presents things. And then on another video, he was doing Kool-Aid. He said, "I'm going to try the infamous Kool-Aid." And he got out one of those little small packs of Kool-Aid. And if you've ever made Kool-Aid, and most everybody has, it doesn't have any sugar in it unless you get that really, really big pouch that has the sugar included. And he put it in just a large looking drinking glass. He didn't even put it in a pitcher. And he only put enough water in it for that large looking. It was a rather large drinking glass, but it was too small for that whole pack of Kool-Aid. And then he just put the water, he just filled it up with water and started drinking it. And he made the awfulest face. He said, "It's so sour." Then he came back and he said, "Oh, I was supposed to put sugar in it." And he got a bigger pitcher. This time he got a gallon-sized pitcher. I could tell by looking at it. And he filled it most of the way with water. Too much water this time. And he just started pouring from a sack of sugar. He didn't measure it or anything. He goes, "I don't know. Is this enough? Is this enough? Is this enough?" And he goes, "Surely it wouldn't be any more than that." And I could tell it wasn't enough. Because you have to have a whole cup of sugar for that little pack of Kool-Aid. And he didn't put that much. I could tell it wasn't that much. And he mixed it around with a rolling pin because he didn't have anything to mix it with. He's just hilarious. Anyway, then he tasted it and he said, "Still tastes sour to me. Surely it doesn't take more sugar than that." And I was thinking, well, the instructions are right on the pack. All you have to do is read it. But I didn't leave a comment. But he's funny. I love watching him. One time he tried biscuits and gravy and he said, "I know it looks like vomit." He said, "But let me tell you, this is actually good." They call it biscuits and gravy. I know in the UK they call cookies biscuits. I watch that show, Keeping Up Appearances, and they're always calling cookies biscuits. And I don't know that they have anything called a biscuit, and it's really what we call a biscuit. In the UK, I don't know, maybe a scone. I don't know what scones are really. But they just make biscuits. What's what we do? We just make biscuits. They're just a form of bread, kind of. And you use thick dough and cut them out with like a cookie cutter or something, and you bake them in the oven, and they make a biscuit. And then you just make your gravy and you pour it on top of your biscuits. And he said, "I know it looks like puke. Who would eat this? But it's actually delicious." He was using sausage gravy. It actually had little pieces of sausage in it. And it's actually good. Sometimes we even make gravy for dinner, and we have gravy and biscuits for dinner. It's so good. And he said something about us eating so early in the day too. He said, Americans eat at like 4, 5, or 6 o'clock, while we're eating at 10 or 11 o'clock. I said, I can't imagine eating dinner at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I'm sure everybody doesn't do that. Just like everybody here doesn't eat at 5 or 6 o'clock. Some people eat at 8 o'clock. And other people eat earlier, like they call early birds. They eat at like 3 or 4 o'clock. Older people usually do that because they go to bed earlier, so they eat earlier. And I know they have tea, a meal called tea in England. I don't know about all of the UK, but I know England does it. I see it on TV. They have it's almost like a little small meal. They might have little sandwiches. They might just have cookies and tea. They might have, I don't know. I don't really know what they do, but I know they have this little afternoon thing called tea. And it's right around the time we'd probably be eating supper, 4 or 5 o'clock probably. And that's probably why they eat so late, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just guessing at it. All the things I understand about stuff like that I've gotten from television, which could be totally false, you know. Okay, she has had 2 coats of paint on her now. Well, we've been talking, and well, I've been talking rather. So now we're going to work on her lips and her nails and her scratch. And when we come back from her bake, she'll only have 1 more coat of paint to go and tip in her nails. And I believe I'm going to tip her nails. I haven't been tipping nails very much because, well, it's just an extra step. I don't really like doing extra steps. Anyway, we're going to get out our paint here, and I'm going to first do her nails and her lips. And then I'm going to work on that little scratch just a little bit more. It doesn't need much, just a tiny more. And it's done. She has a pretty color to her now, I think. You can always look at the rim versus the skin area. On camera, you might not can see the difference as much as you can in real life person. But there is a difference. And when she gets her blush coat, she'll look even better, I think. Like I said, she's not a beauty queen by any means. She's not a beautiful doll. But she'll make a okay doll. I make them all, every one I order. I just couldn't make those boo-boo kits, though, I got from McPherson's. I ended up reselling them. They were the most clowny looking dolls I ever saw in my whole life. Every single one of them had a real goofy look on their face. Real goofy. Now, I've gotten some goofy dolls from Bountiful Baby, too. Don't get me wrong. But these were just over-the-top goofy looking. And there was no choice. You didn't get any choice in the boo-boo kits you got. And they had a boo-boo. Their boo-boo was supposed to be discoloration. Slight discoloration was the advertisement. I had some that had blue spots on them and green spots, and they were so unevenly discolored. It was ridiculous. And they had like I said, the goofiest looking weird. I just can't even imagine that anybody sculpted dolls that looked like that. And that was their idea of a pretty doll. It was just ridiculously goofy. She's got a little buildup between her toes. I'm gonna try to get some of it out. There we go. That's better. Anyway, a lady bought them from me, and I reduced the price. I didn't sell them to her for what I paid for them. And she was happy to get them because she was wanting to start reborning, and she wanted something to practice on. Now, the few kits that I did keep and make, I didn't think they were quality kits. I don't know where they got these kits. The vinyl was very waxy feeling. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get a doll and their vinyl feels waxy. And you're thinking, okay, this is not your normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill vinyl. It doesn't feel right. And it was so slick, I was having trouble even getting the sealer to stick to it so that I could paint them. It was ridiculously waxy. And I don't know, maybe that's just a kind of vinyl that they use. I don't know. Most of Bountiful Babies are not that waxy. They are more, I don't know. If you've ever dealt with any vinyl things before in the past that weren't dolls, okay? The vinyl used to be real popular. They used to make fake leather stuff out of vinyl. And some of it was very waxy feeling, and some of it was a little more quality, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. It was just different, let's put it that way. It was made out of something different. But to me, it felt more quality. And people would buy fake leather furniture, fake leather shoes, fake leather jackets, and they'd be made out of something that was like vinyl. And they called it pleather. Plastic leather, I guess is what it's supposed to be. And vinyl is considered a type of plastic. It's chemically made like plastic is. It's just it's not exactly the same. So she may need another coat on her lips, but that won't be any problem because we still have another coat of paint to go. It's not good to put your fingers on your doll. Not for that long anyway. You might see. Can you see my fingerprints on there? I'm gonna have to get out my sponge and pounce it, because you can actually see where my finger took a tiny bit of paint off. And that's gonna show when you're when I get the hiccups, I'm sorry. Oh, now we're gonna do her little scratch. It doesn't need much more. I'm just gonna put one more coat of that bumpy stuff on it that's in here in this little. I'm finished with that. Let me just put the top on it. I don't think we need to put any more of that on it. I just want to be able to, it shows plenty good. I just want to be able to feel it a little better. So I'm just going to put a tiny little coat of this on it in dots. I don't put it on straight because it doesn't feel like a natural scratch that way. I put it on like it's a dotted line. But the dots are very tiny and they're very close together. There's no way I can show you while I'm doing it on the screen. It just wouldn't work. I used to have my camera aimed down at the table and people kept saying they couldn't see what I was doing. So when I changed it like this, everybody liked it so much better, so I left it. But sometimes I swear I think it would work out better if it was overhead. But I try to give my audience what they like. Oh, don't let me put fingerprints on this doll again. Actually doing a scratch is way, way easy. You don't want to just swipe it. I just dot it on there. Even if the dots overlap a little, you can actually see the individual little dots. I don't know if you can on camera. I'll try to hold it up where you can see it. But when it comes out, it's going to be more 3D because I used the 3D paint. And it'll be crunchier. You'll feel it. I don't mean crunchy. Scratchy, I guess is what I'm looking for. Scratchy like a scratch. Okay, so yeah, when she comes out, we're going to put her regular blush on her, and then we're going to tip her nails. And that will be the end of her video. We're getting there. That's all I know. So I'm just going to ask everybody to please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.